Hello, and welcome to LMJJ Consulting LLC's analysis of Landstar System, Inc. Contributors are Laura Bate, Melanie Mendez, John Neff, and Jeffrey Chapman. For our group project for Management Theory and Practice, the date is April 24th, 2016. Let's begin. A quick author note, this paper was prepared by the authors listed above for this specific course, and it is not a result of plagiarism or self-plagiarism. We have cited all sources from which we use data, ideas, or words either quoted or paraphrased. As a quick abstract, Landstar System, Inc. enlisted in the services of LMJJ Consulting LLC in an effort to grow their business. Landstar System, Inc. has a very specific business model that they follow, and the balance of this model is critical to their success. Any alteration to this balance could prove costly, which is why it is critical to consider the cause and effect of any change that is made to the organization. Throughout this review, you will gain a greater understanding of this balance and its importance, as well as LMJJ Consulting's final recommendation on ways to promote growth without disrupting the delicate corporate balance. Let's meet LMJJ Consulting. This review was completed by LMJJ Consulting's top management team. Key contributors are John Neff, President and CEO, Melanie Mendez, EVP and COO, Laura Bate, EVP and CMO, and Jeffrey Chapman, EVP and CIO. Each manager involved in this review offers a uniquely different skill set than the other, which allowed our consulting team to offer the best overall recommendation at the conclusion of our review. For example, Melanie is an expert in the field of operations, Laura is an expert in the field of marketing, and Jeffrey is an expert in the field of information systems. This expertise, in conjunction with the nearly 30 years of experience by John Neff, went into the preparation of this review and recommendation. As an overview, our recommendation will be made up of 5 different parts, plus a summary of the review. These parts include the organizational background, corporate officer review, areas of concern, recommendations for improvement, and the submittal of our recommendation. Each of these areas will cover important information that will be summarized in the conclusion of our review. Now a little bit about Landstar System, Inc. In 1988, NEOAX acquired IU International Corporation through a hostile takeover and immediately started selling parts of the company off. Landstar System was formed with this purchase of $94 million and $16 million in stock. In 1993, the CEO, Jeffrey Crow, took the company public and used the proceeds from the IPO to pay off its debt, allowing the company to focus more on operations and growth through acquisitions. Their current market capital is approximately $2.83 billion and reported more than $3.3 billion in revenue at the close of 2015. They currently have approximately 1,300 employees across the country and a network of approximately 9,000 BCOs, which stands for Business Capacity Owner-Operators, and thousands of independent sales agents who work in conjunction with one another to generate revenue. Landstar specializes in transporting and warehousing automotive products, chemicals, metals, building products, consumables, heavy machinery, electronics, ammunition and explosives, military equipment, and retail products. They are able to transport these goods via LTL, which stands for less than truckload, over the road, or expedited air, ocean, and rail. Their business model is a specific 3-tier system consisting of independent drivers, independent sales agents, and corporate support. We'll go over this 3-tiered system later on in the presentation. For our corporate interview, we interviewed the company's VP and corporate controller, John Smith. He graduated from Notre Dame with his master's in accountancy, and he served as an auditor with Landstar for 6 years before he moved to his current role as vice president and assistant controller. Our first question, what is the company's model and why is it so important? John Smith went on to describe the fact that Landstar is an asset-light asset-light company, which means it also has light liabilities as well. Most trucking companies are heavy on assets, but Landstar does not own any of its trucks and only owns a moderate-sized fleet of trailing equipment. All of the drivers at Landstar are owner-operators, which means they are essentially entrepreneurs who are running their own business with Landstar. Our next question: how does the company generate loads for the drivers? Landstar has another set of entrepreneurs, which are their independent sales agents. These sales agents travel to different companies to offer Landstar's transportation and logistics services. It is critical that there is a balance between capacity, which is the truck driver, and the opportunity, which is the available loads. Any disruption between these two could prove costly to the company. Smith described it as simple supply and demand. Our last question: what role does corporate play in their model? He described the model as a three-legged stool consisting of the drivers, the sales agents, and the corporate support. You cannot allow your capacity to outgrow your opportunities, or else the stool is unstable. Likewise, you cannot have your opportunities outgrow your capacity. Equally important as the two, you have to make sure your corporate structure has the ability to support both the capacity and the opportunity, that they do so at the same rate to keep the stool balanced for their customers. Our areas of consultation included the organization and how the company planned, organized, and controlled processes. In addition, we also consulted how leaders and the organization effectively communicated. In order to ensure that no one segment outgrows or outperforms the other, it is critical that the organization plan properly, organize their plan, and implement certain controls that promote success while combating deficiencies. During this process, leaders of the organization must also effectively communicate. We found that Landstar system executes planning, organizing, and controls more efficiently than the industry average. However, we learned that while the company does a phenomenal job at planning, organizing, and controlling on a micro level, their leaders fail to effectively communicate changes on a macro level to leaders in other segments of the organization to ensure that suggested changes will not affect different areas of the company adversely. As a result, the company is also at times finding itself trying to clean up after a change versus ironing out issues prior to implementation. We are recommending that they change the way leadership communicates to ensure any and all changes are effectively communicated company-wide. Any and all recommended changes should be discussed among all the leaders of each of the three segments of Landstar, which include corporate, sales, and owner-operators, to ensure that none of the segments will feel a materially adverse effect from suggested changes causing the corporate stool to become off balance. We have decided that we will be providing our recommendation to the company. We feel that our recommendation will be accepted and implemented immediately from the leaders of Landstar system. In summary, Landstar is a much larger company than many people realize. Landstar has a unique and delicate business model. Its three-tier system consists of owner-operators, sales agents, and corporate support. Landstar can be extremely effective in one area of change, but fail on delivery. For example, they're great on planning, but fail on communicating the plan effectively. And in summary, it is extremely important for leaders and managers to communicate effectively to ensure that the three-tiered system remain balanced and strong. There are a list of references as well. That concludes our analysis of Landstar System Inc. for LMJJ Consulting. Thank you.